What is up, everybody? Joe here, budgetboss.ca. It is Wednesday. It's December the 30th of 2020, which means that tomorrow is the last day of the year. And what a year. What a wild, wild, wild year. And I want to jump on to talk about a post I released on Monday, 2 days ago, and re-released today. And it is about my 50 budget hacks for 2021. Now, the reason I wanted to release this post before the end of the year is because I wanted people to start thinking about what they're going to do for their budget as this year ends and think about 2021. Now, this year's been obviously a nightmare for most people. It's been wild. It's been the weirdest year of my life. I hope it is the weirdest year ever of my life. But it also hasn't been that bad in a sense that it's brought a lot of clarity, a lot of different ideas, a lot of different things are happening that have made life obviously different, but better in some ways, worse in other ways. And I think that's something that has been true for most people. And I think we could take from that and learn from it and bring to 2021 a better year. We're obviously in a dark spot right now in terms of COVID. The second wave is hitting everyone really hard. I'm here in London, Ontario, Canada, and for us, we're getting more cases, more lockdown just started a few days back again, so we're back to where we were back in March of last year when none of us knew what was going on. But the good thing about it is that there is some clarity. We do see what's happening. We do have a path out. Obviously, with the rollout of the vaccine, we understand the virus a little bit more than we used to. And we also understand the economy in our own lives a little bit more than we used to. We understand who's being affected, who's not, who can pivot, who cannot pivot, who needs to make changes. And I think we all can make some changes. And that's why I released this post, 50 budget hacks for 2021. So I want to jump into that post and show you exactly what my budget hacks are for next year, 2021. So let's take a look. So 50 budget hacks. So that, my friends, is a lot of things you can do to save some money in 2021. Now, the big thing about it is that all these are not going to pertain to you. These are my 50 things that you can hopefully pick out 2, 3, 4, or 5 of them to actually save some money in the next year. And the big thing about it is that we all can find ways to save money. I know I can. I've been looking for them. And in fact, since lockdown, I've found a lot of different ways to save money in my own life. A lot of ways I was leaking money on a regular basis. So let's jump right into it. So, budget hacks, no fee banking, huge. First things first, I hate the banks. Screw them. Why are you going to give more money to them than you need to? So you need to look at no fee banking. So there are digital banks such as Tangerine, ING, Simply. These are things that banks that you can go to that you have no fee banking. But I have no fee banking and I'm with one of the 5 major banks. And the reason I have that is because I keep a minimum balance that will allow me to have no fee banking. This serves 2 purposes, as I mentioned in the post. The no fee banking is perfect. I keep that balance. It gets me no fees. I get checks, which, by the way, who uses checks? But it's nice to have if you ever do need one, probably once a year, if that. But also, it keeps a buffer so I never have to go into overdraft and I never, ever dip below my buffer. If I have to borrow and use from this no fee banking level, for me, it's $5,000. That is my buffer level where I'll never go into overdraft. I borrow from myself. It serves as my mini emergency fund, and I keep it at that level at all times. So if I ever dip below that, that means I'm dipping into my own money and not dipping into the bank's money. So that's the major purpose of that, and I think that everyone should look to that. Do not pay the bank money if you do not need to. You're going to have to in certain ways moving forward, i.e. mortgages, loans, stuff like that. But at the same time, you shouldn't have to do it just to exist as a person. You shouldn't be paying the bank money just to live, just to access your own money. And they'll do that to you, and they make a lot of money doing it, so don't do it. Overdraft, just mentioned, costs a lot of money. If you dip below zero, you're going to be paying anywhere from 20 to 50 bucks, so you don't want to dip into overdraft. Second of all, bad habit in general. You don't want to use money that's not yours, so do not dip into overdraft. Pay off your credit cards, 19% interest rate. Let's be real. That's a real bitch. You do not want to be paying off credit card interest for the rest of your life. And if you keep doing that, if you keep racking up credit cards, that's what you're going to be doing. Put you in a hole, hurt your monthly cash flow. If you cannot not use your credit card and you cannot not stay out of debt, cut it up. Dave Ramsey suggests this. I agree. I use credit cards, but I pay them off every month. If you cannot do that, then cut it up. Be a cash person. Nothing wrong with that. You have to understand yourself. If you are a magnet for debt, eliminate the possibilities of going into debt. It's like an alcoholic. You don't take an alcoholic to a bar. You take an alcoholic to a ball game or somewhere where there's no alcohol being served in the non-alcoholic section or a playground, or you go do whatever that the alcoholic is not going to do. You need to understand your triggers and cut up your credit card. Cutting cable, this is a tough one for me because I like my cable. The reason being is because I like news on the spot. I utilize local news. I actually watch programming as it happens. It's something that I'm trying to get rid of, but if you can get rid of it, and I'm slowly getting rid of all the other aspects of it, so get rid of your cable, cut it off. If you don't use it, get rid of it. I use mine, so I like it, but if you don't use it, get rid of it. Shop your cell phone plan. They're getting really competitive, especially here in Canada and America. You guys are lucky. You guys are lucky because you got really competitive plans. In Canada, there's a bit of a monopoly. So what you need to do is look for a cheaper plan. They always treat existing customers worse than newer ones. So shop your plan at all times and never lock yourself in for a long time. Don't buy the newest phone. Like, let's be honest. Anyone that chases down and waits in line for the newest iPhone, you're a sucker. You're literally a sucker. Why are you doing this? Don't buy the newest phone. If your phone dies and you need a new phone, get the newest phone or get the model down. But if you're getting the new model all the time, then like, what are you doing? Like, let's be totally honest. Don't be a sucker to Apple or Android. Grow up. Come on. Drop the added phone charges, any little accessories added onto your phone, protection plans, stuff like that. Apps, if you're buying apps, I don't know why you're buying them. If you're buying games, stuff like that, like, let's be real. Don't do it. Unlimited data. So if you're going over your data all the time, I know people that always go over the data. So first off, don't go over your data. But if you do constantly do it, get an unlimited data plan. So you want to make sure that you're not paying these added charges. Now, the unlimited plan might cost more than your existing plan, but the added charges for going over your existing plan cost more than the unlimited plan. So you got to weigh your trends. And again, it's all about knowing yourself. So if you don't know yourself, figure it out. If you're going over every month, get the unlimited plan. If you're not going over every month, maybe scale down the plan, but understand what you're doing. Home phone, do these exist anymore? Let's be honest. The only one calling you for that is telemarketers or CRA scams where they're going to come arrest you and crap like that. Get rid of it. Home phone doesn't need to exist. Bye-bye. See you later. Declutter. Living the minimalist life. Getting rid of extra stuff. This is something that is a constant struggle for me because of the industry I'm in. There's paper builds up and all this other junk. And I have like all this stuff from before. So I try and cleanse at least once or twice a year. Spring's a good time to do it. Fall's another good time to do it where you're just cleansing, getting rid of stuff you don't need. Two things. Makes your place nicer. Also, you can give it to the needy, which is also a nice thing. And if you have stuff that's actually valuable, sell it. It can help you get out of debt. Go on to Facebook Marketplace, Kijiji. You can sell your stuff and get out of debt. Or build up that emergency fund that's so hard for you to start doing because starting savings is really difficult. So if you can sell some things and build up that $1,000, baby step one, that mini emergency fund, do it. And that's my suggestion for you. Rise of shopping addiction. There's a lot of people, Amazon packages showing up every day. Amazon stock's gone through the roof with the stay-at-home movement. We're all buying our things from there. But the big issue with it is this has existed before COVID. So anyone that has some sort of shopping addiction, you need to get off it. And you got to figure out your triggers in terms of that. If you have an online shopping addiction, you got to seek help in terms of that. Find out what you're doing and why you're doing it, and then eliminate those triggers because online shopping, credit card debt go hand in hand. They're two peas in a pod, so you need to make sure that you're not doing that. Get rid of subscriptions. There's all sorts of useless subscriptions. Every year these things build up and you sign up for an online free trial and all of a sudden now you're there every day, all day, and you're getting that monthly charge, and it could be $5, it could be $2, could be 15 or even more, and these things add up. So trim your subscriptions, and that includes online magazines, apps, stuff like that, protection plans for anything you may have. Get rid of them if you don't need them. Prime. Again, I mentioned Amazon. People have this Prime. Oh, I save money on shipping and this and that, whatever. Here's the thing. If you're saving money on shipping, but you're buying things you don't necessarily need, or it's causing you to lose money and go into debt, then the actual savings with Prime are not helping you. So you may act like, or may think that you're saving money, but if you give me a free pass to the mall and what I do when I go there is spend money that I don't have, then I'm not saving anything. So you need to make sure that if you have a Prime subscription and you think that you're shopping more because of it and you're getting all these notifications about new deals on this and that, whatever, you're not actually helping yourself. So that savings is adding to more debt or more spending. So make sure you drop that. The gym, okay, COVID, honestly, last summer, 2019 summer, not this past summer, but the summer before, best shape of my life. But the gym, my gym is closed, can't go to it, and I haven't picked up the work from home movement or work out from home movement, and that is pissing me off. So I'm not in as great shape as I used to be. But with the home gym, if you can work out from home, if your gym is closed right now, or if you're just not going to your damn gym, cut the gym. I have a stat that says about 50% of gym memberships are not being utilized. And if that is you, then you're wasting money. If you can find a way to work out from home and be productive, do that. Honestly, this is another useless subscription that you may or may not be paying into. And if you are paying into it and not using it, then get out. Now, doesn't mean you don't go to the gym. Maybe you go once a week and pay that one-time drop-in fee. It could be $5, could be whatever. But at the same time, though, if you're not going on a regular basis, get out. Protein shakes, let's be real. It's like 60 cents for all the ingredients inside, and you're paying $8 for it. Buy your own things. Make your own coffee. I mean, I rarely buy coffee on the outside unless there's Bailey's in it and I'm at a restaurant. But ultimately, you can make your own coffee at home and you can bring it with you. The thermos costs $20. The coffee pod itself costs 50 cents or whatever it may be. And honestly, you're saving money. If you actually brew pots of coffee and you drink a lot of coffee like myself, just brew a pot, bring it with you, save money. $5. I mean, I love supporting local businesses, but at the same time, you have to be mindful of your budget at the same time. Drop Starbucks. Good old Starbucks. Honestly, same thing with brew your own coffee. $5, $6, $7 for all these coffee things. Like, let's be totally honest, mocha frappuccino, whatever the hell that is. You can get diabetes in vastly cheaper ways than Starbucks on a daily basis. So go about it that way. Drop Starbucks if you are spending far too much money on that. And like I mentioned in the post, if you're spending $100 a month on Starbucks and not spending $100 a month on saving and investing, then you're screwing up. Now, if you're doing both, that's okay. But if you're not doing one or not paying off debt and wondering where all your money is going, it kind of starts to make sense, doesn't it? Bring a lunch. Again, we're all working from home, most of us. If you're not working from home, bring a lunch. But I worked at a place where we would have a cafeteria that take it directly from your pay. And that adds up. And I know people that are spending about 25, 30, 40, $50 a week on the cafeteria. And that's $2 a month. And I'm sure you can bring lunch for a much cheaper price. Or just skip lunch. And I mentioned my boy Gordon Gecko. Lunches for wimps. Honestly, I work through my lunch. I have coffee for lunch. That's what I do. But if you need lunch, bring your lunch. If you don't need to eat lunch, don't eat lunch. Let's just be totally honest. Most of us could skip a meal. Let's just be totally honest. So if you're going to bring a lunch or skip lunch, honestly, lunch should not cost you a lot of money, in my opinion. Drink water, energy drinks, all this stuff. They all cost a lot of money. Water is cheap. Water is free in a lot of places, especially at work. If you work in a large organization, they have taps, they have fountains. Why are you buying energy drinks that cost anywhere from $2, $3, $4, $5 a day? And this all adds up along with lunch, coffee. You add all these things together, you're spending a lot of money on a lot of things. Tap water, I mean, if you have these 24 packs of Dasani at home or whatever it may be, Nestle, the evil empire, a lot of pollution associated with that, but a lot of money associated with that. So you don't want to be spending money on water, which at this point is virtually free. So do not do that. Turn off the lights. Make sure that you're energy efficient at your home. I'm guilty of this. Oftentimes I'll have a light on in a room that I'm not in, so I'm being cognizant of that right now. Make sure you're turning off lights in rooms that you're not in. And this especially includes air conditioning in the summer and heating in the winter, because we're here in Canada. Now, if you're in a warmer climate all year round, be cognizant of your air conditioning. Just a few degrees on either side of things can save you a lot of money over the course of the year. So adjust that thermostat. That goes along the line with that. One thing I'm super guilty of is going grocery shopping while I'm hungry, and that is a bad thing. I overspend, and what I've learned to do is actually don't go when I'm hungry or when I haven't eaten yet, and bring a list. So just bring a list, follow the list. If you're hungry, you're going to start picking out things that you don't really need, and the bad thing about it is the food could go to waste. Lay off junk food. Junk food's super expensive. I give the example of how a bag of Lay's potato chips costs $3 or more, and you can buy a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $10. Yes, you got to make your own potato chips. That's difficult to do, but that's what they capitalize on. And you could get a bag that's full of air for $3, or you can buy a thing of potatoes. Like, let's just be totally honest. Junk food, it's expensive and it's bad for you. Double-edged sword. Organic, I feel that organic is a fad that is starting to phase out a little bit, but ultimately, I worked in produce before. I saw what came in that was organic, and it was not organic. So they just put the purple label on it. Let's be totally honest. Vegetables are vegetables. Pesticides are used on everything. Just vegetables, organic. Let's be real. Coupon and price match. This is something that I have a very hard time to do. Couponing, I'm like, it just takes so much time, and price matching takes so much time. But if you are keen on that, check out the Flip app. The Flip app will help you actually price match and coupon, and it's right on your phone. It could save it. You can see the deals, and you can go right up to the register and pay it that way. But for the rest of us that don't coupon and price match, be ready. We don't want to wait behind you while you're digging out stuff. Like, you're wasting people's time, but that's what the app's for. It helps you do it. So do that and be ready when you get to the front. I stock up on sales. This is something I do all the time. When a sale is going on, I always buy bulk of things that I know won't go bad, first of all, and that I'll use. So I stock up on sales. Again, I've never paid full price for toilet paper. I think that's a waste. When COVID hit last April, I had plenty of toilet paper because I bought a ton of it before, and it lasted me throughout that toilet paper pandemic. So I was ready. No-name products. I'm not big on no-name products, but at the same time, though, there are ones that actually taste decent. There's some that don't, there's some that do. And if you are budget conscious and you're not particular about what you're getting in terms of food, no-name's a great way to go. You could save 50% on your costs, and that's a great thing. So check out no-name. Farmers markets, dual purpose, supporting local, and you're getting fresh produce that is usually as organic as it gets, because the biggest thing about produce is that they add the preservatives to help it travel. So if you see your stuff's coming from California, Mexico, South America, then they've added preservatives to it or pesticides to keep it as it travels from where it's coming from. I.e., if stuff's coming from California, it's going to take at least a couple days to get here. So you need to make sure that it stays fresh. If it's coming from 50 kilometers down the road, then you know it's fresh. So that's huge. Grow what you can. I live in an apartment in the city, difficult to grow what I can, but if you do have space and if you do have a green thumb, growing some food and vegetables is a great thing to do, and it helps kids understand how growing vegetables is awesome, but also responsibility and watching things grow, learn a little bit of biology, learn a little bit about nature at the same time, and it gives a fun activity for kids to do during the summertime. So that is a great thing. Here's a big one, drinking at home. One thing we learned here during March, April, May is that I couldn't go to a restaurant, couldn't go to a bar, couldn't grab a cocktail after work. So I would have one at home after my day at work. Now, what that does is it actually saves you a ton of money. Now, I'm all for supporting local business, especially once that's the industry I was in. But if you cannot afford to, then drinking at home or having a bottle of wine at home with dinner with your spouse or significant other or friend, that is the best way. Significantly cheaper. Booze is very, very expensive, especially when you're going out and purchasing it. So make sure that if you don't have those funds or you're saving up for paying off debt, emergency fund investing, and you don't have the extra funds, you are not going out and spending triple the price on a beer that you could just have at home for a third of the price. Limit what you drink. And I know when I go out after work, I could have 4 or 5, but I only have 1 or 2, and that saves a lot of money. So if you are able to, which everyone should be unless you need some sort of help, limit what you drink. And then the double-edged sword is that you're not potentially driving under the influence, which is huge and could cost you a fortune. That's huge. Brew your own. I know a lot of people that do this. It's something that I don't have the time for personally, but if you can brew your own and you really like to have your own wine, it's a fun activity to do. But then So it's much cheaper. You can buy a bottle of wine, brew it on your own for $1 or $2, as opposed to 10, $15 in the store, and even more at a restaurant. So brewing your own is always a great option. Here's another one that's been happening a lot lately. Limit your takeout. I know people that are rarely cooking, yet they work 9 to 5, and yet they have no time to cook. Oddly enough, work ends at 5, yet you can't cook. I don't understand how this works. So limit your takeout. I know we're all trying to support local business, but at the same time, there's no reason for someone to order takeout 7 days a week. I know a lot of people that do that, and you're paying exorbitant fees in terms of the actual food cost itself, but then the delivery fees, let's be totally honest. This comes with cooking at home. Cooking at home is much cheaper. Oftentimes, it's a better meal and more nutritious, so I think that's a great way to go. The delivery apps, Uber, Skip the Dishes, DoorDash, that kind of thing, they add that fee on top. The actual restaurant itself, you can call them and order delivery or order curbside pickup. That would be the best way to go if you decide to order takeout, because they are not paying that additional fee. Now, sometimes the restaurant itself will swallow the fee just to get you to order, and they pay that $5, and then you save the money. Or it gets added on, then you pay it. Either way, you're either hurting the restaurant, you're hurting yourself. Call the restaurant directly. Sorry, Uber Eats. Kiss my butt. I don't care about you. I don't care about you. You are not important to me. So, you know what? The restaurant itself, if you're going to order takeout, call the restaurant itself. Go pick it up yourself. Or what you can do is have it brought to you. You can go, walk, do whatever you're going to do. Just don't pay the delivery app. Honestly, I have no sympathy for saying this. Uber Eats, DoorDash, kiss my butt. Sorry. Have an emergency fund. This means you're not going into debt. I mentioned that $5,000 that keeps me no fee banking. That's what I want everyone to have. Have that bubble. That means that you're not going into debt. Debt costs money. Banks make money off your overdraft fee, make money off your credit card debt and line of credit debt. So you want to make sure that you have this emergency fund. You're borrowing from yourself. You're not borrowing from the bank. And this is huge. It saves people thousands and thousands of dollars. And like my main man, Dave Ramsey, says, when you got your savings in place and your emergency fund in place, Murphy does not call. You know Murphy's Law, whatever bad will happen, will happen. It doesn't happen as much when you're ready for it. Weird how that works, doesn't it? Set up your automatic payments. I've helped several clients set up automatic payments with their bills. Honestly, I mean, a lot of people that don't know how to pay their bills on time, so my suggestion to them is set up the automatic payments. Double-edged sword, though, you got to make sure the money is in there every month. And if you're not making sure the money's in there every month, you're going to go into overdraft. So this is where having your stocked up bank account for no fee banking, your emergency fund is part of that. You set up your automatic bills, your money comes in, you follow your budget, you will never ever pay bank fees or late fees or anything. That's where this system becomes a finely tuned machine, and that's what's amazing about it. So if you get all these little pieces together, you're going to be winning. Set up automatic deposits. So if you are having a hard time at the end of the month putting money into your savings, instead of putting money in your savings, have it automatically go into your savings. And that is a bill payment to yourself. Most people do this with their investments, goes into their RRSP, i.e. their IRA, or it goes into their tax-free savings account, i.e. their Roth IRA in America, my Yankee friends, and you set up these automatic payments. So what this does is it puts your savings away before you spend it, and I'm all about setting it and forgetting it. And if you do this, that means you're going to build up your savings to a point where if something does happen, this adds to your emergency fund status. Now, I'm not going to recommend taking from your retirement accounts during an emergency, but if you're shifting money automatically to your savings account, to your tax-free savings account, and to your RSP, you have several buckets of funds that you can take from, i.e. the best place would be savings, then tax-free, then RSP, but you're making sure that nothing can hurt you. And by the best way to do this for most people, because of their habits, is automatically. So that's what I recommend. Set up the auto deposits. Negotiate your mortgage. Mortgage rates are dirt cheap right now, and over the past 5 months, I've helped people renegotiate their mortgages and get a new one for oftentimes half of the interest rate, going from 3.5% down to below 1.7 or 1.6%. This is half the amount, which means you're saving half the interest over the amortization of your mortgage. So this can be a lateral move, and I've actually had people do this, 2 years into a 5-year term and save thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars, but then also shave off time off the length of their complete mortgage, going down from 22 years to 20 or 20 years to 17. This is a huge, huge thing. So don't treat your mortgage like it's something that is gone until it comes up every time. Every year, check out your mortgage. And if you have a dedicated financial advisor like myself, we're going to be pushing you to renegotiate your mortgage if it's in your best interest and you can save some money. And that's the long and short of it. So address your mortgages and address your insurances. Speaking of insurance, drop the mortgage insurance. So the mortgage insurance, often more expensive, does not cover you the way you want to. I help people get personally owned term insurance. Cheapest, most effective way to cover your life. Mortgage life insurance is a pile of garbage sold by the lender that protects them and not you and your family. Also, it drops in coverage as you pay down your mortgage and your premiums do not go down. So what you want to do is get personally owned term insurance that's level, doesn't go up in price for the term, and the amount of insurance stays the same throughout the term. That's your best bet. That's what I help people do, and it should be as cheap as possible for the most coverage as possible. That's what I help people do. Check your insurance today. I help people renegotiate their insurance bills. It's a great way to save money, and you do not want to be paying insurance companies more money than you should. Your workplace coverage. Oftentimes people are getting leakage through their workplace coverage. They're spending too much on their monthly workplace coverage. If you have 2, 3, 4 times your income in workplace life insurance, you are spending too much money on it. You're better off getting personally owned term insurance. Now, this all comes down to dollars and cents. So review your workplace coverage. You might be able to get personally owned disability or critical illness coverage that's cheaper than what your workplace is offering. And that's because younger people are paying for the older, sicker people. So if you're young and healthy, you're better off getting your own. If you're older and been at it for a bit of a longer time, maybe what you have is the cheapest you can get. So you stick with that. Long story short, review it. Just review it. The numbers are the numbers. If you review it and you see it, you know what you're up against and you can weigh your options. I think everyone should develop a spending philosophy. Anti-bank, that's me. Anti-establishment, anti-big business. If you're anti-Amazon, I have nothing wrong with being anti-Amazon. I personally like Amazon, but I'm not on there all the time. I like the convenience of it. But if you're anti-Amazon, that means that you are not going to blow money on Amazon. That's great. If you're anti-bank like myself, I'm trying not to give them as much money as possible. If you're anti-establishment, anti-this, develop a spending philosophy on things that are important to you. So if you want to support small business, support small business. If you want to drop Walmart out of your life, go for it. But if you develop these philosophies, what they will do is actually help limit you from spending in places that more than likely are costing you money and not able to help you with your further financial plan. They don't add to your future. Amazon is not adding to your future. Neither is Walmart. Neither is the bank. So what you need to do is develop philosophies about things that you are rock solid about and you won't budge. That will help you save money over the long run. This is something that runs my life, and I think it should run yours too. This is a bad one, especially since Christmas just added, but yeah, stop spoiling your kids. Like, honestly, you're raising little punks that are going to actually think they rule the world. There is no point in spoiling your kids. First of all, it doesn't help them. Second of all, it hurts you. So I'd rather someone leave me an inheritance than give me video games throughout my childhood. And honestly, you should start thinking about life this way. You'd rather build up your net worth and actually set an example for your children to follow as opposed to spoiling them throughout their childhood and honestly raising bad humans that we all don't want to be around. So how about you spoiling your kids and set them up for a successful future? And that is my opinion on that. I won't go into further because I get heated on this subject. So let's just stop it at that. Festivus, useless holidays. Now, we just passed a holiday, in my opinion, that I'm not big on. I'm not big on Christmas. I don't like the commercialization of holidays. But at the same time, the big thing about it is I want people to understand is that it's not about not celebrating Christmas. It's about celebrating Christmas your way and within your means. There's no point in celebrating a holiday and spending too much money you don't have, going into some sort of debt, and then stressing about it. What I remember from my childhood is that my mom was always just so stressed out during Christmas. So stressed out. And when I look back at that time, I look at all the things that happened, and the best parts of it were not the things I got, and the best parts were not any of the commercialization parts of it. The best parts of it were the time I spent with the people I loved, and that doesn't cost a penny. So how about let's stop overspending on holidays that, let's be totally honest, don't really mean anything anymore. No offense. But yeah, let's stop doing that and let's focus on what's actually important. The people we love, and making sure they're happy and healthy. And if anything, 2020 has taught us that, it should tell us that, yes, the people we love are happy and healthy. That's the most important thing. Okay? So yes, Festivus for the rest of us. I fully believe in that. And honestly, if you don't believe me, let's have the feats of strength and figure it out, because we can do it. After the Joneses. Honestly, who are the Joneses anymore? I'm wearing a t-shirt. I'm working from home. I would wear a suit to work. I don't need to do that anymore. Once in a while, I throw it on to make myself feel good. But at the same time, who cares? No one cares what anyone else thinks. No one cares about you. No one cares about your personal finances. You need to care about them. And you don't need to care about anyone else. You need to focus on yourself. And if everyone focused on themselves and stopped worrying about this superficial garbage that doesn't mean anything, we'd all be better off for it. That's what I mean by F the Joneses. No one truly cares what you're wearing. When I look at someone driving a BMW, I think of high payments. I don't think of, oh, this guy must be rich. Honestly, I see people's books. I see people's finances, and I know people that are putting on airs are worse off than people who are not. And the richest people I know are wearing ripped jeans and t-shirts. So let's just be totally honest. There's no point for this anymore. And your fancy Lululemon pants, no one cares about. No one at all. So get over it. Let's move on. It's 2020. The year's messed up. It's going to be 2021. How about we leave that superficial garbage back in 2020? That's what I'm thinking. Okay, cool. Last but not least, change your mindset. Change your mindset about paying off debt. Change your mindset about saving. Change your mindset about what's actually important to you. Honestly, you put in some work. We need to understand that the hard work that you put in with these little things moving forward are going to determine your success. And I've seen people all ends of the spectrum in terms of finances. Broke, rich, millionaire, people just starting off. I have clients that are on welfare. I have clients that are on disability. I have clients that are planning on leaving $5 million to their kids. They're all over the map. And the ones that are most successful have the mindset of put in the work, put in the effort, care about what you're doing on a regular basis. You don't need to be a genius to be financially savvy. And if you change this mindset, oh, woe is me, or I'm going to take control of this, you will never fail. Things will get in your way. Murphy is going to come along and mess you up at times, but you've put in the plan, you've put in the work. And let's get out of this like woe is me mindset, because honestly, it's not helping anyone. It's actually quite pathetic. We need to be in the movement of we're earning our keep, and we are putting the things in place that will help us move forward. Because let's just be totally honest, no one's going to do it for us. If you're relying on the government is clearly inept, and we've seen that throughout this year. We've seen how inept they are. They're learning as much as us. And let's just be totally honest, the best of us don't apply to the government. They really don't. The best of us don't want to work for City Hall or want to work for the Ontario or Canadian government. The best of us are doing things on the regular basis. Our nurses, our doctors, our garbage men, our grocery workers. These are the best of us. And these are the people that bust their butt, get their paycheck. Now, when you get that paycheck, you earned it. Do something with it, and let's make the best of all that. So that is my post on changing your mindset. I want people to check that out. Honestly, check out the quote. He is the richest who is content with the least, for content is the wealth of nature. And that's Socrates. Old Greek guy, no big deal. So check that out. That's my post on 50 budget hacks for 2021. I want everyone to get their budget in order for 2021. I've been re-releasing my budget worksheet. I've been using this for years, and I want my clients, they all use it, but I want people who are not my clients to download the worksheet. It is free. Why not download it? Make it happen. Last but not least, I want people to check me out all across the socials. Next year, 2021, there's going to be a lot of new cool things happening. The handle is @RealBudgetBoss. So @RealBudgetBoss. The website's budgetboss.ca. This year in Facebook, we surpassed over 20,000 likes on Facebook. We're getting close to 23,000. I want to hit that 50,000 mark next year, and I want the following to grow, and I want people to start subscribing and actually start learning about their finances and get connected with a real financial advisor who's accountable for what he says. Because there's a lot of people in this space that aren't, and there's a lot of people giving you advice that they technically have no accountability for. So how about we actually take accountability for ourselves and connect with someone who's accountable to you as well. So I want to wish you all a happy new year. Enjoy yourself safely tomorrow. Keep your distance, stay home, but at the same time, if you're in your household, enjoy yourself. And again, if we're going out in public, wear your mask, be safe, all those fun things. And you know what? Next year we're going to come out of this, we're going to be better off for it, but put the plan in place, make it happen. Happy New Year, everyone. Take it easy.